Hey there, it's Lacy J here to ask you to go to spacebearmedia.com right now to access all our content, buy yourself some merch, and most importantly, send us a message, the latter of which we'll reply to on our newly revamped weekly pre-shows, where we have as many fun segments as we do on the audio pod. There are current events with Christy, corrections and observations with Ben, and as always, questions with Derek. Plus, I have new fun facts and tell a terrible fucking joke every single week. Please join us, and please consider rating and reviewing us on your favorite app or recommending us to a friend who loves Lost. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's Lost in My 40s, Season 3, Episode 15. It's called Left Behind. It's a Kate episode. It's a Derek episode. And it's Derek's first Kate episode to present. We'll talk more about whether or not this is the best Kate episode so far in a little while. But Derek, are you excited?
I am.
Okay. First, you thought I was going to talk about the rankings, but I'm not. I'm going to say we put out an appeal early in season 3 for you guys to watch the pre-shows. And I want to say thank you. I see more of you doing that. It's definitely not everyone. I have a number. I can figure how many of you are current with us and should be watching these pre-shows. It's not everybody, but it's more of you, and it's great. And I just wanted to say thank you. And if you started to watch them and you gave up, I'm asking you to come back. And also email us. Please, for the love of God, send us an email. We'll give you free merch. We're literally paying you to send us an email. All right, Ben, catch us up, please. What were the power rankings after episode 14 of season 3?
Well, we have Sawyer still in first place with 81 points. Hurley, the mayor of Islandtown, in second place with 70. And Juliet pulling into third place with 64 points. The bottom of the barrel should be no surprise. We have Dead Pants Danny with negative 90 points. Paolo Poopstick with negative 80 points. And Nikki with negative 37.
Ew. Okay, I want to talk about the top for a second. Is Sawyer going to pull a Mr. Echo? What is going on here?
Well, yeah. He's I'm not sure. I think we might, unlike Echo, I think we might actually have a horse race at the end of this season.
You know, I noticed there are some people that are really, really close, and I looked ahead at some of the episodes coming up, like Desmond and Ben and Juliet all have their episodes, and they're all right in there. So it's going to be interesting to see if that changes anything and if Sawyer can hang on or not.
I'm wondering excited. If the bottom's ever going to change this season, and because all 3 of them are dead.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think anybody can at this point, like based off of last year and the year before. I don't think Danny can be caught at this point.
No,
I don't. I'm not sure that Danny can be caught, but Mr. Cooper is still on the island. So
yeah, third place. Third place is the only one that I think that is up for grabs. I think Poopstick Paolo and Dead Pants Danny have locked down their place at the bottom. I don't think anyone's going to. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. I think, Mr. Cooper always draws a huge negative wave when he's on, so we'll see.
Throw your son out the window usually will do that.
It does that, right? Yeah. Okay, so today it is Left Behind. It's a Kate episode. It's a Derek episode. Derek, give us a little Kate.
Ooh. Just a little.
Oh my God.
All right, so the episode starts with a handcuffed Kate is in the game room at the barracks, and she sees someone approaching the door and readies herself for an attack. As the door opens, Kate swings a pool cue, which Juliet blocks, sending Kate into a full front flip, landing on her back on the floor.
It was awesome, by the way.
Yeah, I want to say this. No, that's not exactly what happened. She swung the pool cue, And Juliet ducked it, threw her food down on the floor, grabbed her by her wrists, and then basically did like a throw and put her on the ground. That was incredible. Juliet, props.
I love how everyone on this island, whether they've lived there for years, they just arrived, they were born there, whatever, they all have fighting skills.
Judo
chop.
That about them.
Yep, they all know karate, jiu-jitsu, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Juliet just
they
got
could have an MMA, you know?
Yeah, seriously.
I feel like with enough rage, I could maybe damage someone in a fight, or like if I was fighting like for my life. But I couldn't like just whoop someone's ass like that. Like if they came at me, like send them into a front somersault. Like that's not a normal thing. And everyone on the island knows how to do that. And they've all taken like 60 concussions to the head.
Yeah.
But they all know how to fight. That's basically this universe. I love it.
I had to say, it took 30 seconds in this episode for Juliet to become twice as hot.
Agreed. All right. Sorry, Derek. Go ahead.
So Juliet stares at her in shocked annoyance and says, I was just bringing you something to eat. Enjoy your sandwich, which I don't think it had the toothpicks in it.
I didn't see toothpicks either.
Yeah, no toothpicks.
That's special.
Especially
That's
now.
for Jack.
Next time she comes through the door, she's going to be, Kate's going to be throwing toothpicks at her.
Oh, yeah. I like
that almost hit me in the eye.
That would be amazing. If it was like a Tarantino directed episode, they would just stick right in each eyeball.
Exactly.
And then blood would spurt out everywhere. It'd be awesome.
I noticed it didn't look like a toasted cheese sandwich, though. It just looked like she gave her like some bologna on white or something.
Yeah, it was bologna on white is what it looked like. Yeah, it was gross.
Yeah.
I love that Juliet's not having any of Kate's shit. She's just like, enjoy your sandwich. Fuck off.
She's like, sit down, child. She puts her in her place really quickly.
I'm another bitch. All right.
So then she leaves Kate lying on the floor. And we go to flashback number 1. Kate is on the side of the road in a baseball cap watching her broken down car being put on a tow truck.
She's looking cute, too.
The tow truck driver tells her that it'll take
Nobody
3 days.
agrees with me.
Oh, I've always agreed that Kate is cute.
Okay. I can't believe I was alone in that. All right.
So the tow truck driver tells her that it'll take 3 days to fix her fan belt. Wow. 3 days for a fan belt, Kate says, annoyed. The truck driver smirks and opens the door to his truck for her. Patsy Cline's Walking After Midnight is playing on the radio, and he says, welcome to Iowa. Name's Johnny. Kate replies, I'm Lucy.
Do they not have fan belts in Iowa?
I know, that's what I was saying. The fan belt's a pretty basic repair.
I mean, we do live on like in a country with a decent highway and rail system. So my guess is that parts like that wouldn't be that hard to get in Iowa.
Yeah, that's really
I wouldn't
weird.
think so either. Yeah,
I think it's just because it's a small town.
They don't have fan belts in
the fan
small
belt, like I said,
towns?
is pretty
so
basic.
Weird. Basic hardware
repair.
store stuff. Like you can do that yourself, can't you?
I don't know. Maybe they don't have a Pep Boys. I don't know.
They have an Ace, I'm sure.
Advanced auto parts.
It was a domestic truck that she was in, right? Like it looked like a Ford or a Chevy or something.
Yeah,
they're going to have fan belts.
Okay, was Lucy the name that she was using when she was in Australia?
I don't think so.
I don't
know. Why do I feel like we've heard her call herself Lucy before? I could have looked this up before we recorded.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
Keep going. I'll come up with
So
the
Johnny
answer.
and Kate arrive at the garage. In the parking lot, a woman is trying to sell a man some jewelry using Sawyer's con. The woman is Cassidy. And the man she's trying to...
Nice to see her again.
Yes, it is. And the man she's trying to con is not having it and yells, call the cops. Really? Kate turns away instinctively, and Johnny asks the guy if there's a problem. The man says that he's getting scammed, and he tells Cassidy these are obviously fake, and she's a ripoff artist.
She's a phony. This lady's a phony.
Yeah, she didn't have a white van, though. You got to have the white van and sell the speakers.
Right? Oh, God, I remember that in Dallas. Jesus, they were everywhere.
Again, he says someone should call the cops, and then Kate steps in. She says, hey, let me see those. My father owns a jewelry store. I think I can spot a fake. How much? Cassie tells her $60, and Kate buys the one on the end. The men leave the scene, and Kate asks Cassidy for her money back, and Cassie gives it to her and asks why Kate helped her. Kate says she was just watching another girl's back, but Cassidy picks up on the fact that Kate doesn't want the police around. Kate gives her a look, and Cassidy says, I'll give you a ride to town. You buy me a drink.
Annie is the name Kate was using in Australia.
That's right.
That's
Yep.
right.
Oh, Annie. Okay. The Canadian. Yeah,
Can anyone
Canadian.
can everyone else agree that before this whole heartwarming girl power thing kicks off, that this storyline is ludicrous?
Of course, it's so weird.
Cool. I just wanted to make sure I'm not the only cynical one here. That it's like, so you got this woman that doesn't want the cops around, and another one who we know to be a con artist already, and they're just all trust falls with one another.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
They're going on a caper. They're doing a thing.
It must be.
That's what it is. That's exactly it. Well, Kate's flashbacks are always ridiculous, and I think this one's less ridiculous. Sort of.
Yeah, it's better than a bank robbery.
Yeah.
Mm,
Spoiler, they don't make out in this episode, so it's already we're not in A territory anymore. This is
exactly.
a B+ at the most.
Yeah, that would have been cool if
Yeah,
they
it
like
would have
hooked
been.
up.
Yeah, at the very end, they're like, "Thanks so much," and then it's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then later on the island, Kate could be like, I fucked your girlfriend.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, shit. All right. Go ahead, Derek.
So back to the barracks where Kate is playing backgammon by herself. Locke enters the room. Kate is surprised and asks if he was captured. He tells her yes, but only temporarily. He is here now to say goodbye because he's joining the others.
Dick.
Yep. Kate
You think
thinks he
that's
may
a
have-
dick move?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it is, but I know why he's doing it.
Yeah, I get why he's doing
Yeah.
it, but still, it's fucked up.
Is it? I mean, what if it's just the best thing for him? Has he ever been loyal to the other group? Really? I mean, like Locke has always been on his own mission. It just was advantageous for him to be living with the originals before.
Yeah,
Still
that
a
doesn't
dick.
make it any less of a dick move.
Yeah, he's still a dick.
I mean, I guess. I don't know. I just kind of think Locke is just living his best life. I don't know. I don't know if I fault him for it.
Yeah, I can't call it a dick move. If this has shown anything, if Kate has shown anything in this episode, is that Kate's out for Kate anyway. So like,
That's true.
Locke going and being like, "Hey, I'm doing what's right for me." I don't really see it as dick. I see it as the others are no longer this mysterious, evil force on the island or whatever. We're starting to see them for they're just other people, and
Well, there's definitely still mysterious stuff about them, but I guess I just mean like, I don't know. I feel like sometimes decisions that you make that are good for you and the best thing for your life, it's going to leave like a wake behind you. And
Sure.
There's sometimes no easy choice. And I just sort of see it like that's Locke's thing. Like he's on his mission. I don't know. I don't know if I agree. I guess we'll see as the next few episodes go on whether or not that it turns out to be totally dick. But anyways, sorry.
So Kate thinks he may have been brainwashed and wants to know where Jack is. Locke says, Jack didn't go anywhere, Kate. He's going to have to stay behind like you. Kate tries to tell Locke that whatever the others told him is lies and they aren't going to let him go home. Obviously, Locke says, I don't want to go home, Kate.
Yeah.
I want you to know I made a strong case for you. I told him that you were a good person, reliable, smart, honest. And then they told me that who you were and what you had done. Let's say forgiveness isn't one of their strong suits. Good luck.
Ah.
But yeah, I can see why Locke doesn't want to leave the island, obviously, because he can walk.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's his place. It's good for him. And if the other people still want to be rescued and he's like, no, I want to live here, then joining the others just kind of makes sense. To me, like for his journey, I don't know. I'll think more about whether or not.
Sure, that doesn't make me dislike the fact that he has no loyalty to the survivors,
Okay, so you think there should be loyalty between the people that crashed together no matter what?
I mean...
Well, not no matter what.
Do we
Okay.
fault Jack for wanting to go home and arranging it so?
No. I think that
he
was
was
what
going to
Jack...
get a rescue.
Yeah, I think there would be a stronger case to be made that blowing up the submarine was more of a dick move than just joining the others.
Was a huge dick move.
I absolutely hated that he did that. That was bullshit.
Okay, so we're just drawing the line somewhere different. Like, I think that could be arguably a dick move, but I think joining the others, I don't agree. I think it just sort of makes sense for him
I think
to
what
do
we're
it.
finding is that Locke is a bag of different sized dicks. Really.
Yeah.
That's hot.
sticks.
Ah, fuck, Derek. Why are you not keeping us on track?
So Locke heads to the door and yells, coming out. Kate tries to ask him about Jack, Saeed, and Danielle, but he just shakes his head and turns to leave. Kate pleads with him, John, please, what's happened to you? Locke gives her no answers. It says, I'm sorry, Kate, and leaves. And we have the lost title screen.
Fuck, we were still in the opening stretch.
Yeah, that was a long opening scene.
All right.
So at the original speech, Sawyer's reading when Hurley shuffles past him, kicking up some sand.
Sawyer's got the prison hair again, too.
He stands
Nice.
looking at the water and tells Sawyer to pretend like they're not talking. Hurley tells him he's not supposed to be here. Sawyer replies, good, then scram.
Oh my God, Sawyer.
Hurley tells him that after everything with Nikki and Paolo, the rest of the survivors are holding a vote
for the mayor of Island Town.
Yep.
And I win because I am the mayor of Island Town.
How have things descended with or declined with everyone else gone that Nikki and Paolo were in leadership positions?
Right, you just say now with them gone.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus.
Uh-oh.
So they're holding a vote to see whether or not they should banish Sawyer from the beach. Sawyer says, banish me? Where? Hurley tells him there's some debate about, but probably a half mile down the beach. He also tells him that there's a way to make amends. Sawyer says he doesn't do that. And Hurley reminds him that Sawyer can't feed himself. He uses the latrine and drinks the water they collect. Sawyer grunts a little and says, for 3 days, 10 hours, and 15 minutes, I ain't allowed to use nicknames. Well, you, Sir Hugo, are rotund, annoying, and you're ruining my damned view. How's that for amends?
The fuck, dude? Like, calm down, Sawyer. He doesn't have to be aggressive all the time. Sawyer needs a hug.
He's not keeping track of how long he can't use nicknames either.
I guess he is.
Hurley says that Sawyer's making a big mistake and then leaves. Sawyer mumbles, banish me, huh? And for a brief moment, a look of concern crosses his face.
Mm-hmm, yeah, because he just realized he can't take care of himself. He fucking knows.
At the barracks, flies buzz around Kate's sandwich. As she lies on the ground next to it, she grabs the bread and begins to eat it. She's interrupted by a noise and gets up to look out the window. Outside, the others are quickly packing bags and putting on gas masks. A gas canister is thrown into the game room, and Kate kicks it, quickly covering her face. She tries to leave, but is locked in, and she falls unconscious on the ground.
That's fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
God, being in a room and then all of a sudden he throws in a gas canister. Oh, fuck.
I would think I was dying. That's what I would think.
Yeah, because you don't know what kind of gas canister it is.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's scary.
You know what would be interesting? If someone later talked about knockout gases. Wouldn't that be cool?
That'd be a fun fact.
That would be cool.
To hear about. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
So we go to flashback number 2, and Kate and Cassidy are sitting in a bar with country music playing and having some drinks. Cassidy asks her name, and when Kate lies, it says Lucy, but Cassidy is on to her. When Cassidy asks her why she chose Lucy, Kate tells her because she's a saint, one of many she memorized in Sunday school. Cassidy asks, what makes a girl who went to Sunday school scared of cops? Kate
Lots of people went to Sunday school and turned out bad.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, my father taught Sunday school and now he believes that the earth is flat.
Okay, that's amazing.
Wow.
You also don't have to be bad to be afraid of cops.
That's
FYI.
the other thing. Yeah.
Just throwing that out there.
What happened in Memphis, yeah.
Yeah, you
My
could
God.
Insane. Kate replies, a few months ago, I killed my stepfather and escaped from the marshal who arrested me for it. Cassidy didn't face it all and wants to know why she did it. Kate says he was a bad guy. Cassidy wants to know what brings Kate to Iowa, and Kate says she wants to see her mom. Cassidy thinks it'll be complicated if what Kate said is true, and Cassidy offers up some help, but Kate wants to know why she'd do that. Cassidy says, I fell in love with the wrong guy, and then I gave him my life savings. He conned me and embarrassed me. He was a bad guy. So I'll help you get the meeting with your mom, Lucy, because one of us deserves something good.
Whoa.
Once again, the storyline is ludicrous.
Yeah.
Yep.
How does Cassidy know that she'll have a detachment of FBI or feds or whatever around her? Like, has she personally escaped from a marshal before and known what sort of federal response?
You mean the plan that they enact?
She's like
the later scene.
Yeah, she's telling Kate, oh, well, if you did this, then you're going to have feds around her. Like, she knows the internal, doctrine or whatever.
She's a fugitive. I feel like, she's a fugitive. She can assume that there are federal agents after her. I don't see like that's a far leap.
Yeah, but at the same time, why is Cassidy still being a con artist? She had a whole lot of money saved up that she gave to Sawyer. So she obviously had a career, so why not go back into your field of work and
make your money?
Yeah.
Well, because, if she wanted to be in that field of work, she never would have begged a guy to teach her how to be a criminal. I think she was just
blinded by Sawyer's dick.
Sawyer's dick is so good at making you break the law?
I guess.
No, he literally came in her eyes and blinded her.
Ew.
Oh my God. For real, though, that fucking hurts. That hurts. That hurts really bad.
Does it?
Oh my God.
I've seen it in porn, the amateur porn when it accidentally happens and the girl's like, oh, my eye. I'm like, really?
No, that.
Well, I guess that's salted.
I always knew it was hilarious, but I didn't know it hurt.
Yes.
You're such an asshole.
I always thought it was funny.
You do know it hurts because you've gotten it in my eye, and then I scream and I cry, and it turns bright red. It's fucking
That's why
awful.
I said I didn't know it was before. But it was always hilarious.
Oh my God, it's not.
So back on the island, Kate wakes up lying in a pile of leaves. She realizes she's in the jungle and then notices her arm is handcuffed to an unconscious Juliet.
So
what?
I know that I've seen all of this before, but my memory sucks and it's been years because I haven't rewatched it since it originally aired.
Wait, you didn't watch it before we recorded?
Yes, but
Oh, I'm like, what the fuck?
Yes, of course I watched these before we recorded, but
but before that you hadn't seen it.
Right. It had been since 2006 at this point since I've seen these episodes.
These came out in 2007, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Same difference.
Yeah. Okay.
It was a long time ago.
Got it.
But I'm feeling like Kate is about to be hustled by Juliet. Mm-hmm. I feel like Hurley is hustling Sawyer. And then in the flashbacks, I feel like Cassidy is going to hustle Kate. And that's
a lot of hustling.
That's where I am right here.
I see. So when you watched it whenever this week, that's what you were thinking because you hadn't seen it in so long is what you meant?
Exactly. But at this point in the show, that's what I was thinking was going to happen. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's keep
So at the beach.
And I want to point out that after everyone leaves, Kate wakes up in a pile of leaves. And I don't know if they meant to do that, but
whoa,
there's some very, very physical
make like a tree
metaphors.
And get out of here.
Exactly right.
Biff.
Okay, you blew my mind, man.
So at the beach, Sawyer tries fishing to little avail. He notices Sun and Jen and smiles, but receives a very stern look from Sun.
Stern look? Pissed. Those were like daggers of death.
Look of death,
yeah.
He says aloud, I ain't going to get the Korean vote. By some miracle, Sawyer suddenly catches a fish, and when he places it on the sand and attempts to gut it, things don't go very well. He moans and groans as he pulls out some guts. A frustrated Sawyer goes to find Hurley.
But then he wipes it. He wipes the guts on his shirt. Why would you do that?
Yeah.
What are you? It's disgusting.
He doesn't know how to gut a fish.
But go to the water and wash it off your hands, you gross man.
I've never gutted a fish, but I think that I could probably do a little bit better than Sawyer's doing.
Yeah.
I think I could also figure out how to wash it off my hands without wiping it on my shirt like a 2-year-old. It's like, what are you doing?
I just do what Shannon did. I'd get Charlie to do it for me.
Right.
Yep. So with the blood on his shirt, he goes to find Hurley. All right, let's do it, he says. I'm ready to make amends. Hurley smells the fish on him and tells him that he stinks and criticizes the fact that they've been there 3 months and Sawyer still can't gut a fish.
For real.
Can we just do this? Sawyer asks. Hurley replies, apologize for calling me all those names. Sawyer says he's sorry for calling Hurley rotund. Really? Hurley asks. Sawyer replies, God, you're worse than a girl. Come on, let's spread the love.
I actually love the way he delivers the line, too. It's just like, you're worse than a girl. And it goes up on the end. Like it was pretty funny.
In the jungle, Kate notices a flip knife in Juliet's pocket. She slowly pulls it out, but when she flicks it open, Juliet wakes and grabs her hand. She says, "What the hell am I doing here?" Neither of them has any idea, and Kate tells Juliet to let go of her wrist. She does, and Kate starts trying to pick the lock on the cuffs with the knife. And Juliet says she was making a cup of tea when a canister came through her window. Kate asks what Juliet did to piss the others off, and Juliet ignores her and says Kate needs a safety pin to pick the handcuff lock. Kate wants to go back to the barracks, and Juliet makes some comment about how they did this to them. This pisses Kate off and says, "You said they like you don't lock me in a cage, watch me break rocks all day. We're going back to your village because my friends are probably gassed just like us, and your people are gone anyways. I saw them all pack up and leave." Juliet is surprised and confused by this. Kate says Locke told her they were going somewhere. Juliet asks where, and Kate says, "He didn't exactly tell me." They stare at each other for a second, and Kate says, "Welcome to the wonderful world of not knowing what the hell's going on."
Whoops. Sorry, Juliet.
Yeah, I was suspicious of this anyway. So.
Yeah.
You were immediately suspicious of this?
Oh, yeah. Okay. There's no way this is on the level.
Right.
Okay. When I first watched it, I so badly wanted to believe that Juliet was like ultimately a good guy because I loved her so much. I love Ben a lot, but I love him for being bad. For her, yes. I just like Same. I felt like I wanted her to be sort of ultimately like a good, decent person. So that's where I was like the first time around watching it is I wanted to believe.
Oh, I do too. And right now that's what I wanted. You know, when I saw him wake, I'm like, oh, sweet. And I was like, no.
But you don't think, well, Christy thinks she's getting conned and you think she's getting conned. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Okay. Right.
I find as the show goes on, I don't care if characters are good or bad. I just don't want them to be boring.
Well, yeah, right. Of course. I'm just saying, like the first time around, I feel like the first time I watched this, I was in my 20s. I was a lot more emotionally like attached to certain characters, and I wanted certain things from them. Watching it now in my 40s, I feel sort of different about some of the characters. But so I'm just describing like where I was when I first watched it. I can just remember being like, I want Juliet to do the right thing, no matter if she's with the others or with the originals. I just like, to me, I wanted her to be more of a heroic character. So
got it. Yeah, that makes sense.
We'll see how that goes.
So we go to flashback number 3, and Kate, wearing sunglasses and her baseball hat, which I knew wasn't Kate, is dragging some luggage up to a house. She knocks on the door, and Diane opens it. A federal agent yells, "Go, go, go!" And a few of them jump on Kate. The
this
marshal
is completely
yelling,
ridiculous. By the way. Like cars, like they have cars just parked around the corner 24 hours a day outside. Like come on, it's ridiculous.
The marshal is yelling,
they can't subdue her with one gun. Like what is she? Like the fucking Hulk?
Well, just remember, in Australia, he needed 5 guns.
Yeah, true. Now he's actually got 5 people to hold on to all those guns.
Right.
I guess so. I don't know.
But the idea, that they have like cars sitting there waiting, you know, just a minute or just 10 seconds away, so that when she pops up, they can all like. That's a lot of money to be paying a lot of cops or a lot of FBI agents to be waiting around for one person.
She's probably not even on the top 10 most wanted.
Okay, so that's where I was just about to go. It's like, okay, I earlier I said I didn't think it was unreasonable to think that there might be people like around her mom or people searching for her or feds or something like that. And then that's fine. And like guards in the diner later or whatever. However, she killed one guy. So it's not like
it's not like she's a serial killer.
Yeah, right. It's not, and one very specific guy. It's not even like she killed a stranger, like that. She's really even a danger to most other people. Probably not. So it just seems like a bit of overkill to have like cars parked around the corner to just zoom around, and it's just ridiculous. But anyways.
So the marshal is yelling on the ground, and he tells Kate to show him her hands, and then says, "Long time no see, Austin." When he grabs her and rips off the sunglasses, he finds Cassidy, of course, looking back at him.
Not a good look for Cassidy, by the way.
No.
She looks ridiculous.
No.
The marshal demands to know who she is, and Cassidy says, "I'm just selling Bibles."
I'm just selling Bibles.
Bibles. He opens her case and finds it full of Bibles, and across the street, Kate is watching the scene with a pair of binoculars.
Okay, like, and literally she's like, what, like 60 feet from them?
Right. Close enough for them to see her, you know, or notice someone standing with binoculars.
I know, like out of the corner of your eye, I think it would look really suspicious to be like, why is that person sitting there with binoculars?
Yeah.
Like, how would she not get caught?
Yeah.
Now
this
is
episode is...
Yeah. Now is the time that somebody needs to sweep the perimeter.
Yeah.
Well, and you go door to door selling Bibles.
They did back a long time ago, I remember, but...
Okay, but this is 2007.
Right.
Well, she only had a couple of Bibles, so, like, was she selling...
She was good at her job.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, if you want a Bible, just go to a hotel and take it out of the...
and then sell them.
Dresser.
It's unfair to say it was 2007 because it was 2004 when the show started, and this is a flashback. So it's maybe like late 90s. Was that still a thing in the late 90s to sell Bibles door to door? I don't know.
I was never in the market, so I guess.
Yeah, me neither.
Okay.
So a bit later, Cassidy meets Kate in a hotel room, and after they scissor, she tells her that the police questioned her.
Yes, exactly.
What did you say after they scissor?
Yes.
Oh my God.
That was in my version of the show.
Exactly.
I don't know if that's really a thing.
Scissoring?
Yeah.
Trimming.
I can confirm that is a thing.
That is a thing.
Okay.
I've seen it. It is quite lovely. It's nice.
It is. It's amazing.
That is definitely
okay.
a
So
thing.
she tells her the police questioned her for 30 minutes and confiscated her case. Kate thinks they're in good shape because now they know what they're up against, and she'll be able to figure it all out. Cassidy says, "Figure it out." That Marshall, I don't know what you did to him, but if he ever gets his hands on you, it's going to be you or him. And Kate says that Cassidy can change her mind about helping her, and Cassidy says that she wants to help, but if that she's risking this much, she wants to know it's for a good reason.
Can I also say, like, okay, she got interviewed for 30 minutes, went directly to Kate in a fucking hotel. How the hell was that Marshall not following her?
Because obviously this was a ruse, so the FBI should be like, hey, you know what? Let's see where she goes.
Well, why wouldn't you tail her? Just out of caution or I mean, like, good God.
Kate replies, he used to get drunk and beat up my mom, so I blew up his house. I made it look like an accident, a gas leak. Took out an insurance policy on the house for her. She set her up for life, and then she gave me up, chose him over me. Idiot. So the reason I need to talk to her is someone I love, someone who's supposed to care about me, betrayed me, and I want to know why. Cassidy, knowing what it feels like, says, well, then, let's go find out.
But can't you flip this and you know, from Diane's perspective, somebody that she loved betrayed her by killing her husband and blowing up their fucking house.
Well, yeah, that's like when Kate goes, when she's like, somebody betrayed me and I want to know why. Murder?
Yeah.
But wasn't he trying to mess with Kate too, though?
Yeah.
Like he was drunk?
Look, I get it. I think that her mother was being ridiculous for, like, staying with this guy, but you can't just, like, kill somebody and then get upset if someone gets mad at you. Like, it's just...
Well, I can understand getting mad, but she shouldn't have ratted her out.
Oh, okay. That's
my beef with it is not. Yeah, she can be mad, but
in either case, I think like what Kate did, I think is justified. The dude needed to fucking go. At the same time, her mom ratting her out. Kate's just being a fucking brat at this point.
Yeah, like her mom had the right to respond any way that she wants. Is the way I see it.
You can be afraid. Like you could be genuinely afraid that somebody literally murdered somebody else in cold blood, right? Like, she calculated. That's very calculating what she did, and that means she is a dangerous person. Again, I don't think she's in the wrong, but I think her expecting her throwing down that gauntlet and saying like, okay, like mom, you have to support me, and you can't like. That's just it's so bratty, and I didn't think about this when I first watched the show. But
I think if you're going to kill someone's spouse, you need to be prepared for a scenario where that spouse doesn't appreciate it.
Yeah, exactly.
You cannot put some sort of like expectation on that person's behavior after you kill their spouse. Like you just can't do that. That's ridiculous.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's now nighttime on day 81 since the crash. Kate notices that whoever dragged them out left a trail. Kate tries to leave, but Juliet pulls her back by the handcuffed arm. She says it's going to rain and they should wait, but Kate says no and pulls Juliet along with her. Kate wonders why they would do this to them, and Juliet says Ben has a thing for mind games. Kate asks, that's why he left you behind? But Juliet replies, do we really have to talk? Yeah, she doesn't want to talk. So thunder cracks and the sky opens up to a downpour. Kate wants to leave right away because if the trail gets wet, she'll lose it. Julia says, I hope you're not dragging me all the way back there with you for him. She tells Kate that she was there when Jack said not to come back, and now Kate has ruined his only way off the island. At that, Kate has enough and punches Juliet right in the face, knocking her to the ground. Here you go with the karate.
That was a hell of a punch.
Knees her in the chest. Yeah, she clocked her.
Yeah.
Juliet leans backward and then throws Kate over her shoulder. Kate lands hard, but then kicks Juliet in the face and gets the upper hand. She twists Juliet's arm behind her back and says, You're done? I said, Are you done? A crack can be heard as Kate dislocates Juliet's arm.
Ow!
Juliet lets out a wail and Kate is suddenly apologetic. Oh, sorry, dislocated your arm there.
Oopsie.
She says she didn't mean to do it, and then suddenly the roar of the monster can be heard. Juliet says, What the hell is that? Kate puts her hand over Juliet's mouth as more monster sounds ring out from the jungle. Kate's head is spinning as she tries to pinpoint the sound.
Oof.
Get up, Kate says to Juliet, who reminds her that she just dislocated her shoulder. Get up, Kate repeats. They start hobbling through the jungle while the roller coaster sounds can be heard. They find another impenetrable grove of trees, tree fortress to hide in. Those are convenient.
Always.
Yeah, it's happened to be there. And they crawl inside. Juliet asks, What the hell? And Kate puts her hand over Juliet's mouth again and shushes her as the monster screeches right outside the trees.
Sounded a little bit like a T-Rex this time, too.
Yeah.
And it's dumb. It's smoke. It's a gas.
Is it?
It can go through a grove of trees.
The trees, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if they can breathe, then gas can get in.
Yeah, except it never seems to encounter them in like the gas form into the. It's always. Well, no, I guess it just doesn't seem to. Yeah, it's impenetrable. You're wrong, Christy. It can't get in.
Yeah,
but they can. So yeah,
right.
It also can't go over fences, as we learn later. So there are definite limits to this thing.
Yeah, you're jumping ahead.
As it nears, blinding lights flash into the grove and onto each of them. Juliet covers her eyes in shock. The monster is making noises as the lights flash and then suddenly retreats. Juliet says, Are we safe? Kate replies, You tell me. On the beach, Claire is tending to Aaron as Hurley and Sawyer watch from a distance. Sawyer says, I ain't kissing no damn baby.
Oh my God, Sawyer.
Hurley tells him that Claire is very influential and she votes for him. Sawyer's home free.
A question here.
This is hilarious.
Do you think Hurley was actually asking him to go kiss the baby, or is he just kind of
maybe
using different words? Of why would she want him to kiss her baby?
Yeah. I don't think.
Wouldn't it be fucking weird if somebody just comes up to you that has never really talked to you before and said, "Hey, can I give your baby a kiss?" Wouldn't that be a little off-putting to you?
It's not that they've never talked, but yeah, I see what you mean by that.
Okay, so you guys talk all the time, and you come out of nowhere and say, "I want to kiss your baby." Again, is that not off-putting?
Right? Yeah, just after 81 days.
Yeah,
I don't think he has to approach it that way. Yeah, it would be weird if somebody who is not close with you walked up and said, "I want to kiss your baby."
I get they're approaching it from the politician angle of kissing babies or whatever, but I have to wonder the approach of this conversation and how it was Hurley really literally trying to talk him into just going up and kissing a baby.
When that baby's pretty big for being less than 3 months old.
Yeah.
They've used like tens of babies. I think they change size. Sometimes it looks smaller. Sometimes it's like a giant kid. There's one that has a huge head that shows up every once in a while, I've noticed. Yeah. So
Sawyer says he hasn't ever done anything bad to Claire. So Hurley reminds him that he's never done anything nice either. He says, have you even asked how Aaron is? Sawyer replies, I know how he is. He cries loud and he smells. This is true. Hurley scolds him for being sarcastic and tells him that moms love it when you show interest in their babies. So Sawyer should go over and say something nice. Sawyer walks up and says hi to Claire, who is surprised by that. He says hi to Aaron, who begins to cry. Claire wonders if she can help him, and he tells her he just stopped by to say that Aaron looks less wrinkly than he did a couple weeks ago. She finds this funny, but thanks him. He hands her a blanket Hurley had told him to give her and says, I don't like blankets.
What?
That's so weird.
Yeah. They say goodnight to each other, and as Sawyer walks away, Hurley gives him a thumbs up.
This is great.
In the jungle, Kate and Juliet are still in the tree grove, and Kate is questioning Juliet about not knowing what the monster is. Juliet says, if you don't believe me, you can always pull my other shoulder out of its socket.
Oh, my God.
Kate tries to say
Juliet can be pretty antagonistic.
Yes.
Yeah.
But she says it in that calm, passive-sounding voice, too.
Kate tries to say she didn't mean to do it when Juliet interrupts to say she shouldn't flatter herself. This is the 4th time it's popped out.
Oh.
Juliet wants Kate to pop it back in, but Kate is resistant. Juliet says if it wasn't for Kate, she'd be on her way home right now. And Kate says that Jack told her not to come back because he was trying to protect her. BS. Juliet says, is that what you think? When Kate confirms it, Juliet says, we have cameras on the cages, Kate. All of them. He saw you and Sawyer. The reason Jack told you not to come back wasn't because he didn't want you to get hurt. It was because you broke his heart.
Oh, fuck.
So grab my wrist, push up, and twist. Kate, who's more willing to cause pain now, does what Juliet says.
Yep.
Yeah. She got her worked up. Juliet screams, her voice echoing through the jungle.
Yo, Kate's face when she's telling her that
she was busted.
That Jack saw them. Oh, she looked not okay. What are you laughing at, Ben?
Oh, just as the seasons go on, I like Kate less and less. She strikes me as just more of a brat, and she's always just doing shit for herself. She really doesn't have anyone else in mind. So every time things like this happen, and where she gets a bit of her own medicine, it just makes me
that was
chuckle.
a Schadenfreude giggle.
Yeah.
Talking about, again, like the first time I saw it, I was early 20s, and Kate, I loved her. She was the hero to me. I thought she was like fucking everything. And rewatching it in my 40s, I'm like, I can see this differently now.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't mean I don't want to pound her every once in a while, but I'm definitely not in line with her character arc. She needs to.
I'm gonna do that
up.
fake. I'm gonna do that fake thing called scissoring.
Yes,
I'll watch.
Yes. The next morning, back at the main camp, Sawyer and Desmond are hunting boar. Sawyer is complaining about being up so early on the morning of day 82. He thinks that the boars might have slept in. Desmond wants to know what Sawyer's angle is, since he hadn't spoken more than 3 words to him before asking Desmond to go for a hunt. Sawyer says he has hearts and minds to change, and the best way to do that is with food. Desmond shushes him as he spots a boar just before shooting it dead.
I mean, he's not wrong. The way to a lot of people's hearts is through their stomachs.
Yeah, he says
Especially
people
there.
like meat. That's what he said in the show.
Mm-hmm.
People like meat.
And that is very true.
Indeed. Yeah.
Kate and Juliet are waking up in the tree grove. They quickly scissor, and then Kate asks about her shoulder.
No, they slowly scissor.
Slowly.
No, God.
Kate asks about her shoulder. Juliet says it's awesome. So Kate says it's time to get going. And we go to flashback number 4, and Cassidy is sitting in a diner while the waitress hands her soup. Cassidy thanks her, and when the woman replies, "You're welcome, sweetheart," it is revealed to be Kate's mother. As Diane serves another table, Cassidy positions the soup at the edge of the table, and when Diane walks past the table, Cassidy knocks the bowl onto her shirt. She apologizes. She threw it pretty much.
She threw it at her, and then the mom's like, "Oh, don't worry, it happens all the time." I'm like, "It does."
People throw soup at you all the time.
Seriously. Yeah. Well, she was in an abusive relationship. Maybe she's just like at a place where people just like they just berate the waitresses and throw food at them.
And throw.
They do that in Iowa, maybe.
Exactly. Maybe they're pissed off. There's no fan belts.
Yes.
That took me a second to hear for some reason.
I was about to say delayed reaction.
Oh my God.
She apologizes and calls herself an idiot. Diane isn't bothered by the accident and heads to the bathroom to clean herself. As Diane is washing, she sees Kate enter behind her through the mirror. She calls her Catherine and asks why she's there. Kate tells her mom that she looks good, and Diane responds, "I asked you what you were doing here." Kate says she wants to know why her mother ratted her out. Her mother says she thought maybe Kate was there to apologize.
Ooh.
Yeah. Kate says she's not sorry. I agree. He abused her. Her mother says you can't help who you love, Catherine. Oh, whatever. And good or bad, I loved him, and you burnt him alive. You turned on the gas, and you lit a match. You murdered him in cold blood.
She didn't technically light the match, did she?
No, I think he lit a cigarette or something, right?
Yeah.
Is that what happened? Yeah, she just left it lit. Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't burn alive. He got knocked out by the explosion.
Yeah.
He probably didn't feel much.
No.
Not that it makes it okay.
Yeah.
You murdered him in cold blood. Kate claims that she did it for her. Her mother says, what you did for yourself. Diane says she won't alert the cops in the restaurant. Well, at least finally she did something good. But if she ever sees Kate again, the first thing she's going to do is yell for help. She leaves Kate standing in the bathroom. Once her mother is gone, Kate begins to cry.
Didn't quite work out the way you had thought, Kate.
Yeah,
Whoa.
she wanted to apologize, though. Really?
Yeah.
Diane did do exactly that. The next time that she saw Kate, she did start yelling for help. And that was
I have that in my notes too.
Yeah.
Yes,
that was back
is
in the episode with
Was when she was in the
the
hospital?
guy that she was supposed to marry or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Yeah, she was in the hospital, and that is what she did. She said, "Help." Yeah.
So Kate and Juliet are still trekking to the barracks, and Kate wants to know if Jack told Juliet that she broke his heart. Juliet says he didn't have to. Kate gets defensive, saying that Juliet doesn't know Jack. Juliet says, I know where he was born. I know what his parents did for a living. I know that he was married and who he was married to. I know why he got a divorce. I know why how his father died. I know his height, his weight, his birthday, and his blood type. What do you know about him, Kate?
Oh shit! Get her some ointment because she is
Burned.
a point.
Yep.
Dude, she just
Ouch.
spanked Kate. That was
Oh,
amazing.
hello. Wait a second.
No,
Yep, she did.
like a tiny child. Like she put her over her knee and just spanked her ass.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
Oh no!
Juliet spanking Kate. Yeah.
And you get
Kate stares-
Cassidy in there to just cheerlead for it.
Oh my
Yeah.
god! That sounds like my rankings at the end.
So Kate stares at her for a second and then says, let's go. Didn't even have an answer. Just then, the monster can be heard again. Kate says, run, run, run. They do, but Juliet trips and they fall into a mud pit.
This was so gratuitous.
Oh my
Yes.
god!
Yeah.
Should have been Jello, but anyways, or
Oh my,
oil.
well, you can explain the mud pits because there's wild
Yes,
boar,
exactly.
right? So that's why there would be mud pits.
Yeah,
I don't know
they
how
keep
you would
moving.
explain Jello.
You got Anna Lucia the spirit of Anna Lucia digging mud pits too all over the
Oh,
place.
that's what it is.
True.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it could. I think a mud pit, would that be called a wallow if that was where the pigs were?
Is that what it is? A pig's wallow? Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds
Yeah,
right.
So both women are now scrambling to get up, covered in mud, and they keep moving until they arrive at the sonic fence. Kate stops and tells Juliet she knows what happens when you go through there. Juliet tries to convince her that they are off, but Kate won't go through. The monster is roaring. Juliet grabs the key from her pocket and undoes the cuffs.
What?
The look on Kate's face.
So Kate falls to the ground, stunned. Juliet runs to the other side of the fence because she must have known it was off. I mean, I didn't know that there was some kind of light that told them it was on or off, but And accesses a control panel revealing a lever switch. She tells Kate she's going to want to be on her side of the fence. Kate hesitates and Juliet shouts, Kate, come on. And Kate runs through the barrier.
I love here how Kate is like all of a sudden really, really slow-witted. Like Juliet's run to the other side of the fence. The second Juliet ran to the other side of the fence, Kate should have been like, okay, it's cool. But she stands there like frozen, like a moron, just, I guess, to build up the tension a little bit.
She's
Or
so
probably
shocked.
so shocked. Yeah.
Yeah,
maybe
that
that's
could
it.
be.
So Kate runs through the barrier, covering her head because that would prevent anything from happening if the fence was on.
Oh my god!
Once through, Juliet turns the switch, causing the fences to buzz. So that's the thing that tells you it's on. It buzzes, even though the last episode it wasn't buzzing.
Yeah.
So the monster then heads
okay.
straight towards
Yeah.
Juliet, but the smoke is completely blocked by the sonic fence, which acts like a force field, and the monster's not smart enough to just go over the fence.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a plot hole, isn't it? Yeah. I've heard that before. I've heard people discuss that as like a plot hole in the
Well,
Lost.
it is, because I mean, they got
chat
over the
groups,
fence
I
by
mean.
climbing over it, and the monster's just
Right.
Right.
it's gas, so it can go anywhere it wants. So the monster quickly gives up and flies away. Kate walks over to Juliet and pushes her. Juliet says, all right, we don't know what it is, but we do know what it doesn't like our fences. Kate mentions the fucking key, and Juliet says, they left me behind too. They gassed me. I know that you don't care, but the people I spent the last 3 years of my life with, they just left me. I thought that maybe if I could make you think that we were in it together, maybe I wouldn't get left behind again. Kate grabs the key from Juliet's hand and walks on ahead of her.
Oh, dear.
Yep.
Oh, boy.
So at the beach, Sawyer pours some really old beer over the skinned boar as he cooks it.
This boar is like 6 feet above this really tiny ass flame too. I'm wondering, this doesn't look like a barbecue. It looks like they're waiting to get trichinosis.
Yeah, it's going to take so long to cook it at that rate.
2 days to cook it.
Exactly.
So he walks over to Charlie in the kitchen area, who's devouring a portion of the pig. Charlie says it's delicious, and Sawyer says he hopes he'll remember that at this meeting later. Charlie doesn't know what he's talking about, so Sawyer tells him Hurley spilled the beans on the vote. Still, Charlie has no idea what he's talking about. This is awesome. Sawyer laughs at first, but then realizes Charlie is serious. He goes to find Hurley and calls him a son of a bitch for making him be nice when there was no vote. He says, "You tricked me into being decent. That's got to be the lamest con in the history of cons." That was funny. Hurley says he wasn't conning him, but since Sawyer has to be their temporary leader, so he needed damage control. Sawyer thinks Hurley is nuts, so Hurley says, "Jack's gone, Locke's gone, Kate and Saeed, you're all we got, and Paolo and Nikki dying." So what the fuck does that have to do with anything?
I know, really.
We all look to you.
Stop injecting them into the story where they don't belong. Oh my God.
I think Hurley's point is when Paolo and Nikki died, we looked to you.
Sawyer kind of took the lead.
You were the person who we looked to for leadership in that moment. So
and I don't think it matters that they're dead. I think he's like, everybody's just traumatized that it happened.
Yeah.
Like,
You buried him alive.
Yeah.
Well,
I
they
read
don't
that.
know that.
I took that a different way, but you're probably right.
Yeah, I did too, actually. Then again, you totally tried to steal the diamonds, but we wanted to look to you. Look around. You made everyone happy. Just for today, they can eat boar, laugh, and forget that they're totally screwed. And you did that for him, dude. You. Sawyer has no interest in leading, so Hurley reminds him that Jack didn't either, and he still did it. Sucks for you, dude. Hurley tells him before joining everyone for the pig roast. And there's a mini montage.
Whoop, whoop.
Music plays as the survivors happily eat and drink. Hurley gives Desmond a sandwich with no toothpicks, while Sawyer takes one to Claire. She lets him hold Aaron while she eats as Son looks on from a distance. Sawyer looks towards Son with a smile, but she once again gives him a look of death. The look on his face shows that he cares.
Yeah.
The mud-covered girls make it to the barracks. Juliet says that Saeed is in the backyard and she'll go get him. Kate goes to the house where Jack was. She finds him unconscious on the floor near gas canisters. So they woke up and been trekking through the jungle, but Jack's still unconscious.
Yeah. How is he still
from the same gas? Wow. Startled, he throws her into a wall and asks what happened. She tells him that the others left. Jack is confused. Kate is crying and saying she's sorry and that she should have listened to him. Jack asks if Juliet left as well. When Kate tells him that they left her as well, he asks why.
Did you notice though?
Did you
see her face when he immediately asks about Juliet after Kate's giving him an apology? Yep, oop, oop.
Well, you got Sawyer, so force him. When Kate tells him they left her as well, he asks why, and Kate says, "You know her better than I do. Now what?" Jack says, now they go back to their camp. Okay. We go to flashback number 5. And Cassidy pulls up to the garage to drop Kate off because, after 3 days, they finally got that fan belt. And her fixed car is now ready. Kate thanks her for everything and then asks for the name of the guy who ripped her off. Cassidy says that she's pregnant, the baby is his, and she still loves him. Kate tells her to call the cops and have him locked up. What? Wait a minute. Yeah. Cassidy wonders if Kate will ever forgive her mother for calling the cops. Kate says, no, I won't. And Cassidy thanks Lucy before getting out of her car. And Kate gives Cassidy her real name.
Yeah. So, you're right to point that out, Derek. It's now we know basically Sawyer went to prison because Kate told her, call the cops. And then she did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
So back at the barracks, Jack and Kate exit the house to find Juliet and Saeed. Jack and Juliet ask each other if they're okay. And Kate's like, yeah, that's great. Awesome. Saeed says he checked every house and everyone is gone. No weapons left, no trail. He says it's like 50 people disappeared. Jack says they should take what they can and head back to the beach. And Saeed doesn't want Juliet to go with them, but Jack insists. When Saeed asks why, Jack responds, because they left her behind too, sucker. Jack and Julie take off, and before following, Saeed and Kate share a glance. Lost title screen, end of episode.
Well, well, well. What'd you think? Did you like it?
It was the best Kate episode so far, in my opinion, because less corny than the others.
Yeah, I'll make that argument too. But first, shall we do some fun facts?
Yes, please.
Yes.
All right. Fun facts.
I hear this
today?
one's a real gas.
Yeah. It's about knockdown gases or knockout gases. I got these facts from the First Responders Toolbox. It's something that's put together by the Joint Counterterrorism Assessment Team, which comprises of the National Counterterrorism Center, the Department of Homeland Security, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation. So these apply to gases that, I mean, obviously, they think that terrorists could use and other criminals, I'm sure. So a knockdown or knockout gas is a type of toxic industrial chemical that when inhaled can cause immediate loss of consciousness and can be fatal. These gases include hydrogen cyanide, hydrogen sulfide, and phosphine. They do have legitimate usages, but have the ability to be used for nefarious purposes and also sometimes suicide. I have a couple cases to tell you about in a second. So the gases themselves, hydrogen cyanide, this is one that is frequently used in suicides. Breathing just small amounts of hydrogen cyanide can cause headache, dizziness, weakness, nausea, vomiting. More significant amounts will leave you gasping for air, give you an irregular heartbeat, cause seizures, fainting, and then sometimes rapid death if you get a large enough dose. You'll die
use it in the gas
quickly.
chamber.
Yeah, that's correct. If you happen to survive the gas, you could have permanent nervous system dysfunction, a Parkinsonian-like syndrome, other movement disorders, or neuropsychiatric issues. And yeah, as Derek already mentioned, that is what was used to gas the Jews. This is getting more depressing than I had planned.
Yeah, I mean, you brought suicide into it. Did you think this was going to be fun?
I don't know. I guess not. Sometimes the fun facts are depressing. I don't know. Sorry, guys. Hydrogen sulfide also used in suicide. It has similar effects, but also if you take it when it is in its liquid form, it can cause like immediate frostbite, which sounds horrific.
It's getting more fun. Every fact is getting more fun.
It's going to get better. Super high concentrations result in rapid respiratory paralysis, which sounds terrible as well.
That's the most fun so far.
Phosphine is colorless and flammable. Can be used as an explosive gas at room temperatures. It smells like garlic and decaying fish. Awesome. Causes a lot of the same gastric or neurologic effects as the other. This, however, typically kills people from accidental exposure to fumigation materials. It's often used on farms, and it's denser than air, so it can collect in like low-lying areas and then self-ignite and just blow up like randomly, which I thought was kind of cool. That's not as sad, right? Can we get excited about random explosions? All right. The lethality of a knockdown gas can depend on several factors, including the method of its production, its dissemination, and the location of the incident. According to the First Responders Toolbox, victims of suicide using these gases typically will provide signage, like they'll leave a sign tied around their neck or something to warn people of potential dangers of chemicals. I guess that's like a common occurrence, which is wild to think that like people who are killing themselves are like polite.
They're considerate.
Yeah, that's kind of wild. So I have 2 cases that they talked about specifically. They were warning like first responders. So these must be like offhand sort of things that you might not think of, is my guess. So August 2019, a woman committed suicide in a hotel in San Jose, California by mixing household chemicals, producing a toxic gas with a rotten egg odor. In addition to killing the woman, obviously, the gas forced the evacuation of several floors in the hotel, and 8 people were hospitalized.
Damn.
So even if you're courteous, it could still obviously apparently go wrong. So in April of 2008, a 14-year-old girl, the website listed her as overseas, but wasn't more specific. I'm not sure why. She committed suicide by mixing chemicals in the bathroom of her apartment. She was wearing a warning sign that read gas being emitted, but the resulting fumes from the chemical reaction sickened 90 people within the building, resulting in 10 hospitalizations. So
not very courteous.
The moral of this story is it's hard to contain a gas. So be careful about how much you make, I guess.
I have a funny, little bit of a funny story.
Well, let's do that since we're all fucking depressed now.
So
I thought knockout gases would be interesting, but it didn't occur to me how much I was writing about suicide. So go ahead, Christy. Funny story, please.
By now, I think everybody knows that Lacy and I worked in a restaurant together.
Rocky Run.
Yep. So I don't want to say his name, so I'll say Red Hat Guy.
Okay. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
He was cleaning in the bar one day, and we come in, and he's like, I just made the best cleaner ever. If you mix bleach and Windex.
Holy God, Jesus fucking Christ.
I'm like, are you fucking stupid? Yes, clearly you are. I'm like, you cannot mix bleach and ammonia, you fucking moron.
Oh my God.
We opened the doors and set some fans up and everything. I'm like,
wow.
Not the brightest.
That was a pre-MAGA Red Hat, probably.
Yes, it was.
Totally
it was
different
definitely,
thing.
Yeah.
Completely different
thing.
I made
this great cleaner here.
Yeah, this guy was just notorious. He was just notorious for wearing the same red hat. But the funny thing about this is when I met Christy and I was working at this restaurant, I had spent a year at a university nearby in Baltimore before I dropped out of college for the first time. And while I was there in the dorms, like a friend of a friend of a friend or something was there partying at the college, and I hooked up with him in the woods. And it was this red hat guy. And then it turns out he gets a job at the restaurant where we worked. And then he ended up marrying our friend.
And then she ended up divorcing him.
And then recently.
In the woods, huh?
Yeah, they have kids together and everything. Yeah,
was
in the woods.
Was it an impenetrable grove of trees?
No.
So the smoke monster can't get you?
No, there was like a tiny amphitheater in the woods on the campus. And we hooked up in the amphitheater. It was weird. But anyways, that's Red Hat Guy. That's amazing. Okay. Where in the fuck were we? Best and worst moments.
Wow.
How about Ben?
Best moment was a couple of Juliet moments. One, her kicking the shit out of Kate early on, that first scene. I love that one. I also really liked her basically, saying how she knew Jack and Kate didn't. My least favorite moment was Cassidy as Kate because that was just dumb.
It kind of was dumb.
Yeah.
I had similar. For my worst moment was just when the marshal was fooled by that ruse. Same, just kind of dumb. For my best moment, I thought that it was kind of cool that Kate was indirectly responsible for Sawyer serving time in prison. I thought that was just a fun little thing. And that was the best moment for me. Derek, how about you?
The best moment was when Julie was telling Kate about how she knows Jack better than her.
You're right. That is a better moment than mine.
But yeah, just the look on Kate's face, and basically she was speechless after.
Right.
And then the worst moment was like Ben's, the whole, trying to fool the marshal. I mean, when she was walking up dressed as Kate, I knew it was BS from the moment that scene started.
Right.
It was dumb.
Christy.
For me, the best moments were Sawyer realizing that he got had by Hurley, and then the montage. The look on Sawyer's face when Claire handed Aaron to him was awesome. For my worst moment, I just said Kate and Cassidy stuff. Like it was just a dumb storyline. So
yeah,
except the scissoring.
Oh my god. Best and worst characters this week. I'm starting with myself. Hurley is so obviously the best character in this episode. His little con job on Sawyer was brilliant. I loved it. I had Sawyer in second, though, because he adapted to it. And I think he did come around and he did realize that, it's okay to be nice. He learned Hurley's lesson. I guess I'll put it that way. And then I had Cassidy as my third best because I just loved seeing her. The more we discuss it, the more I think that is probably a weird choice. Because her character, okay, I'll put it this way. I guess this is why I put it in there. I think that this is the best Kate episode yet. It doesn't mean that I think it's a great episode necessarily. I'll talk more about that in final impressions. But I think Cassidy being there helped to elevate the episode. Even as silly as the storyline was, I love Kim Dickens. And I think that it was fun to see another connection between the characters that we hadn't seen before. And I'm glad that it was with Cassidy. And so that's why I had her there, I guess. I didn't get mad at anyone during this episode. I have no worst characters. For fuck, I am going to fuck Kate and Cassidy while they're handcuffed in the mud pit with Juliet watching.
Wow.
That's a lot.
And because
that's ornate. Yeah,
I didn't get mad at anybody, so you know what that means for kill. It's Randy. Douchebag. Nations. Ben, how about you?
Top was fairly similar. Hurley at the top because he brought some levity into this. Sawyer because, like you said, this sort of just comic relief between those two was the show very much needed. Right. In third place, I've got Kim Dickens, not Cassidy, just Kim Dickens because I like Kim Dickens.
For fuck's sake.
And I think she's really hot, and I think the show needs some more hot Dickens.
You did that. You set yourself up. My God.
Well, you got to sometimes.
Oh my God.
The bottom, I've got Kate she is the worst. She just bothers the shit out of me.
Wow.
I've got actually Cassidy in second place in the worst because again, that storyline is ludicrous. And then I have Saeed in third place only because he comes in at the very end of the episode and he's like, she is not going with us. And then Jack is like, yes, she is. And he just kind of goes, why? It's so ridiculous. He's really, really amped up. He's going to stand up. And then all of a sudden he's just like, why? And he backs down immediately. Yeah. It was a really weak showing by Saeed. So
that's a good point.
I'm going to fuck Claire this week.
Oh.
Her little interaction with Sawyer about the baby I thought was really funny and kind of endearing. So yeah. I'm not killing anybody. I don't feel lethal.
Yeah, see, I didn't either. Derek, how about you?
No lethal gas.
No. What's your ratings? Who did you kill anybody this week?
My top was Hurley, just because the whole thing with him and Sawyer. So that has Sawyer at second. He actually brought out a little good in Sawyer with that great barbecue with the little fire.
Mm-hmm.
And third, I had Kate because I just, I like her. And, it's like I said, this is the best Kate episode so far.
Right.
I'm not saying it's a good episode, but I just thought it was the best Kate episode.
Yeah, see, that's why I put Cassidy up there. You put Kate up there for the same reason. I have to give some credit to the episode not being totally
not
awful.
Sucking like the previous Kate episodes.
Yeah.
All right.
And it was hard to find a worst, but I did put Debbie because I'm just not into that whole, staying with the abuser thing. I just don't get
Debbie.
that. Diane. I'm sorry, Diane. Where I got Debbie from? What the hell? And then second is Locke because, yes, I know why he joined the other. I know probably his motivation for joining the others, but I just don't like it.
Oh, you're mad at it too. Okay.
Yeah, I am for now.
Okay.
Maybe when I find out why, other than him, not having to be in a wheelchair, which is a pretty good reason.
Okay.
So I'm going to fuck Kate and Juliet in the impenetrable tree grove covered in mud.
Obviously not impenetrable.
Yeah, because there'll be some penetrating going on.
Oh, God.
And then another thing is, it's hard to kill someone, but I'll just kill Debbie.
Diane.
I'm sorry. God damn it. Booth. It's the new Booth.
Okay. Debbie, your rankings?
Okay. I guess I'm Debbie now.
Yeah.
I had Hurley in the top spot, followed by Juliet, and then Sawyer.
A sweep for Hurley. A sweep for Hurley.
Yeah.
Nice job. And in someone else's episode, too. So that says something.
He's a good con man.
In the bottom, I put Kate first because she's kind of insufferable in this episode.
Yeah.
And Locke because he really pissed me off at the beginning of it.
Wow, all right.
Even though I thought the Cassidy and Kate stuff was stupid, I'm going to go ahead and have a threesome with them. They can just keep their mouths shut.
Oh!
And then...
I mean, not completely shut.
No,
that's
not completely.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of options with mouths.
Just
so.
gonna keep
That's
that,
true.
keep
That's
that
true.
voice box
Right.
on low. Okay.
And then I was like not really thinking that anybody deserved to be killed. So,
you know what that means.
I was like, let me throw in Randy Douchebag Nations.
Randy. All right. Ben, update us. What's it look like after? I might leave that in. What's it look like after episode 15? There was some Kate hate, so Juliet might be like solidifying her lead over her finally.
I mean, no one has jockeyed positions, but we are getting some tight races here. So Sawyer goes from 81 points to 91 points, stays in first place. Hurley jumps from 70 to 90 points, so he's 1 point behind Sawyer.
Oh.
And Juliet is in a very strong third place with 71 points. I don't think there's anyone within 20 points of her at this point.
All right, but I'm looking right here. There are 3 people that could make moves. Desmond and Benjamin Linus and Kate are all almost the same spot right now, just pushing 50.
Yeah. Bottom of the barrel does not change actually really at all. Danny still at negative 90 points. Paolo with negative 80 and Nikki with negative 37.
Interesting. Whew, all right. Shall we talk about some final impressions before we head out for this week? How about Christy?
So it's funny that you mentioned this while we were recording earlier, but I was thinking the same thing. It's funny to me that when I first saw the show, I thought Kate was so great and such a badass. And this time through, I'm just like, she was a selfish, asshole for most of it, to be quite honest. I don't necessarily know that it was the best Kate episode. I can't think of which one might have been better, but I didn't love this episode. So
I didn't love it either, but the other ones I thought, here, let me see if I can refresh your memory, see if any stand out as maybe better. So
Bank robbery
sucked. Blowing up Daddy was pretty cool.
So season 1, she had Tabula Rasa, and she had Whatever the Case May Be. We really did not like that one.
Ooh, that was a bad episode.
Yes.
Yeah, if I remember. And then she had Born to Run toward the end of season 1. And in season 2, let's see, she had What Kate Did. Obviously, we learned that one. And I think that was our only episode in season 2, actually. Once they introduced more characters, the principals didn't have as many. And then this season, she had I Do. And then Now Left Behind. Was there really only one in season 2? I'm double checking that. I feel like maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, even Nathan Fillion couldn't save that episode.
Yeah, it was only one episode in season 2. So I don't know. What do you think, Christy? You still feel like this isn't the best?
Maybe Tabula Rasa was better.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that argument.
That was before we knew what a brat she is.
Right. Did you have more to say about the issue?
Nope, that's it.
All right, Benjamin, how about you?
I think I've said throughout the episode, the entire backstory or the whole Cassidy adventure was dumb. It was like there's the willing suspension of disbelief, and then there's basically a convict and a con person kind of hitting off a friendship, and I'm just going to go help you because girl power. But it was stupid. I'm glad Kim Dickens was in the show because I like her, but I think that whole thing was kind of lame. The thing that saved the show, or this episode specifically, was the whole Hurley and Sawyer sort of storyline. It was charming to see that happen. And other than that, it was, Juliet had some really good moments. She kind of showed Kate what it was like to be a strong female character and not just be a fucking brat. So yeah, all in all, it's like it was kind of like a B minus kind of episode.
Okay. For me, I thought it was the best Kate episode of the show so far. A little less silly and ridiculous, although it had its silly and ridiculous moments. I loved seeing Kim Dickens again. I already said this. I thought she carried, a lot of the weight of making it pretty good. Hurley wins the episode, obviously. So good. I love seeing Sawyer grow as well. Juliet, she's like an original now. She's flipping sides. Locke is flipping sides. I love all the shuffling. It definitely is like the story was furthered a lot in this episode, which I like. The Kate, Jack, Juliet love triangle is interesting. I like that a lot. I thought it was a good episode overall. Nothing huge, shocking, like it didn't, blow my socks off. But as far as season 3 goes, I feel like it's a good episode. Also, looking at the episode count, I know that there's a lot of what's getting set up for the ending is kind of happening in these next few episodes, and I think they're doing a good job of that. So I like it. Derek, how about you? What'd you think of this episode? Did it leave you with any questions? What are you thinking of season 3? Go.
It was a decent episode. It was my favorite Kate episode so far, or the best Kate episode so far, because it was not as corny as the other ones. Mm-hmm. It's just kind of interesting how she runs into Cassidy. It seems like a lot of people on this island are kind of connected before in the past.
Yeah.
Strange. What really helped the episode was the Hurley Sawyer interaction. That whole thing was nice. Mm-hmm. Getting Sawyer to do some nice things. And one of my questions is, why did the others, leave Juliet behind and handcuff her to Kate? What's the long game in that?
Well, you are in luck, because next week we get more Juliet's past and we get the answer to that question. The episode is called One of Us. It's Juliet. It's Ben. And we're going to see you there next week. All right, guys. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Lost in My 40s is a Spacebear Media production. Executive produced and edited by me, Lacy J. Sound engineering, editing, and original music by Benjamin Trimp. Like and follow Lost in My 40s on Facebook to interact with your hosts. Plus, follow Spacebear Media on YouTube to watch our episode pre-shows. You can also find us at Spacebear_media on Instagram and Twitter. Or come to our website, spacebearmedia.com.